Good morning, fifth grade. We're going to take a look at lesson 613. The first thing that it has are math boxes on page 229. This and the home link are the only two things you have to do. The other two pages, which I'll show you how to do those, are optional if you'd like to do them. So starting on 229, it says, the data in the table show how many women's shoes of each size were sold at a shoe store in one day. Use the data to make a line plot, then answer the questions. So you have 1, 2, 3 ticks or tally marks on 5. So that means you'll go to 5 and you would add 3 X's over top of it. Okay. So then 5.5, there's 2, so you'd put 2 X marks, and so on, until you've gotten all the way through. It asks which shoe size was not sold this day. I have to take a look at the shoe sizes sold and which one doesn't have any. Which sizes were the most frequently sold that day? So which one was sold the most? Notice that it has this S in parentheses. Okay, that means that there might be more than one that was sold the most. That's all you have to do for 1. For 2, you just have to fill out the exponent to make it true. So you just need to look at moving the decimals. For number 3, we're going to skip that. So you can just cross that out. For number 4, it says Darian has a $20 allowance to pay for bus fare. He is keeping track of his spending in the table. Plot the data in the table on the grid. Connect the points with a line and answer the question. Okay, so you look at 0 and 20. Okay, to make this easier, remember this is the X, this is the Y. So on the X, if it is a 0, we'd stay on this line. We go all the way up to 20. Next we have 118. So you go 1 all the way up to 18, which will be back on that line, that top one. And then you'll keep going from there. Now, the other thing that we have to do is the home link. This talks about using the grab it gauge, and I'm going to show you the grab it gauge that we have, but it's going to be optional to do that activity. For the home link, it says Garrett tried the grab it gauge experiment with his left hand. He recorded his results on the line plot below. Use the data to answer the question. So which time, and then remember that S is an apostrophe, so that means it can be more than one, came up the most often for Garrett. So you need to look on this grid and which time or times came up the most often. Then write Garrett's reaction time in order from fastest to slowest. So that means that you need to write each one. So if there's 1x over 14 hundredths, you'd write just 1. If there's 2 x's over 15 hundredths, you would write it twice. So you'd write 14 hundredths, comma, 15 hundredths, comma, 15 hundredths, comma, so on all the way down. It says, what is the difference between Garrett's fastest time and slowest time? The difference, remember that's subtraction. So you're going to take the fastest time and you're going to subtract the slowest time to see what the difference is. What is Garrett's evened out reaction time? Record your calculations. Evened out means you have to add all of them. So the numbers you have on this line where you wrote all of them, you're going to have to add up all of those, and then you need to divide them by the total number of ones that you have. The total number that you have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So whatever answer you get, you need to divide it by 10. And then you'll write that here. And what would you say is the typical reaction time for Garrett's left hand and why? I'm curious to see what your answers are to that. And then we just have a little practice with some subtraction using decimals. Make sure that you keep those decimals lined up. They both have two numbers right at the decimal place, so you should be able to keep those lined up nicely. Now, for the optional part, we have this estimating your reaction time. It says it takes two people to perform this experiment. So maybe you can do this with a sibling, with a parent, however you can do it. But remember, this is optional. It says the tester holds the gravity gauge at the top. The contestant gets ready to catch the gauge by placing his or her thumb and index finger at the bottom of the gauge without touching it. So you're just slightly opened. You're not actually touching it. When the contestant is ready, the tester lets go of the gauge. Okay. Now the tester doesn't tell them that they're going to let go. They just let go of it at random. Then the contestant grabs it quickly as possible with thumb and index finger. The number grabbed by the contestant shows the person's reaction time to the nearest hundredth of a second. And those are all labeled there. The contestant then records reaction time with the data table shown below. They put it down here. The partners take turn being tester and contestant. Each person should perform the experiment 10 times using his or her right hand. Now, ideally, this is supposed to be something done with a partner in the classroom. Now, since we're going to be doing it with a parent or a friend, parent or a sibling, you just do it 10 times. You don't need to have them do it. If they want to do it and try, that's fine, and record it somewhere else, that's okay. But you would just record yours here. Then you write your reaction times from fastest to slowest, and then write the difference. Remember, so that subtraction, whatever your fastest is, you subtract the slowest. Okay, and then there's some other work with looking at your reaction time. Just kind of like the homework. Remember, this is optional. Now, the last part of this, you're saying, Mr. Rob, where do I get that gravity gauge? I have no idea. Well, if you go into the back of your math journal where the activity sheets are, there is a gravity gauge. It should look just like this, that you can cut it out. Okay, so if you would like to do those optional pages, you need to go into the back of your book and you need to either cut this, or it maybe is perforated on the edges so you can just fold it and tear it out. Best of luck. Let me know if you need any help.